Welcome back to the AL.com film room. I'm Matt Scalisi here with Cole Cubelic, our Auburn football analyst. We're going to be taking a look at Auburn's win over Louisiana Tech from last weekend. And Cole, last week we talked a little bit about Auburn's offense and some things they were able to do with the passing game in their win over Kansas State. We're going to take a look at the run game for Auburn in a little bit more depth this week. Maybe some things they did well, some times where maybe they were struggling a little bit in this game.
Yeah, some interesting things happened. They got a lot of the looks that they saw against Kansas State, Louisiana Tech. Schematically, I thought did a nice job. And it's always difficult to manage change on the offensive line. You come into this game, you flip the guards in their starting positions. Chad Slade goes to right guard where he started last year. Avery Young goes to left guard. Then they flip back. Then Patrick Miller goes down in the course of the game. Avery Young goes out to right tackle. Danzy comes in at left guard. So when those changes are made over the course of a game, in the middle of a game, it can be difficult to manage. So I think with the circumstances that were involved, they did a pretty nice job over the course of the game against Louisiana Tech. All right, Matt, one play that we know we focus on here in the film room is the zone read for Auburn. Since the end of the LSU game last year, going into Kansas State, Gus Malzahn's offense ran the zone read 41% of the time, over 7.1 yards per carry on those plays. We know it's critical. We look at the defense here, pre-snap read. It's a nice job by Nick Marshall understanding how tight this defensive end is. He knows he's got the edge here. Now, what's been happening is this is your replacement defender the last few games, some in this game, some against Kansas State. Got to get a little bit right here from the receiver. If we can get any of that and Nick Marshall's able to attract these linebackers to the line of scrimmage, he knows he can keep this football and create a big play. Watch the linebacker run through, going to make contact with Cameron Artis-Payne, a nice fake, a nice pull by Nick Marshall, and it opens up plenty of space by the outside. Pretty good execution by the offensive line. Get a hat on a hat. There's linebacker run through. Ricardo Lewis with a block downfield gives you enough for Marshall to get to the edge and create a big play.
All right, so Cole, early in the game, the Louisiana Tech defense was able to at least contain this Auburn running game a little bit, give them a little bit of trouble, especially when it comes to generating the big plays that Auburn's done so well with on the ground.
Yeah, I think, and one thing that we see again, the alignment, Nick Marshall did a nice job with pre-snap reads on alignment. We've talked about the last 2 weeks how these defensive ends are crashing and replacement defenders are coming up to the line of scrimmage. Well, Nick Marshall knows with the running back offset left, he's going to fake here, and if he keeps the zone read, it's going to go here. You see the defensive end really tight, probably knows he has room to operate here, so he adjusts his read from the end to this outside linebacker that's flexed out over the slot receiver. So once he sees that he's slow playing it just a little bit, stays out, I'll keep that football. All he has to do really is make one move on his own. Cameron Artis-Payne doesn't even have to make contact with that defender. It allows Nick Marshall run through. Again, there's been some confusion, but you can see the offense beginning to adapt, beginning to understand how defenses are playing them. All right, Matt, another play Gus Malzahn loves to run, power play, pulling guards. We've talked about guards pulling. Can you get me something up on the second level? Can you get past that first line of defense? If you can get a playmaker into space and a body on a body, hat on a hat at the second level, big plays will follow. Now, your slot receiver is not going to be responsible for the outside defender here. Melvin Ray is going to go inside. So we're going to have pulling guards responsible. Devontae Danzy comes in at left guard. The injury to Patrick Miller forces Young to right tackle. I love to see a young man, doesn't have a lot of experience, his head is spinning, confidence in question, but he comes out here and just wants to hit somebody. Watch your left guard right here is going to pull around, and he's just going to at least try to attack someone. I love the aggressiveness of the young man. Get a little chip here, then go after somebody else. Now, does he cause a little bit of traffic there? Maybe that's the reason Cameron Artis-Payne can't bust a big play. Yes, but I love the aggressiveness to see a kid that hasn't played a whole lot come in, try to attack, try to go get multiple defenders and just make a play. All right, Matt, one thing I think Auburn has to do against LSU is run the football between the tackles. Mississippi State had over 300 yards rushing between the tackles against the LSU Tigers. A lot of different things I think from this play you'll see down the road. You're getting a little jet sweep motion here from Ricardo Lewis. I think that's going to start trying to free off some of these backside defenders that are coming up close to the line of scrimmage and basically causing problems with the zone read. Now, this play is going to be a little bit of a trap play. You're going to pull Slade out here. He gets a nice kick out, but you're going to try to force Cameron Artis-Payne back underneath. Again, Devontae Danzy, limited experience. Watch him come in, work this double team, get a nice push here, and that's going to really clear the way for Cameron Artis-Payne, who love when he has the ability to just get the football and get north and south. Watch him hit the hole here. Little trap play, sneaks right behind Slade. Boom. Give me 6, 7, 8 yards on a little play like that. Show me what you can do. Get north and south. That's the kind of plays Auburn's going to have against LSU. All right, Matt, so we don't have as great of a look here on the film, but again, you're going to see the power play. It looks very similar to the trap play that we just saw, but you're going to try to get this thing outside the tackle box. One thing you cannot have when you pull linemen is penetration. It disrupts everything. You see a little penetration here from Louisiana Tech. It's going to throw off the pulling guard, and it's going to force Cameron Artis-Payne to bounce this ball outside. Again, when the running back is forced to bounce, and it's not necessarily a zone scheme play that's designed to cut back, it allows pursuit time to get there and make a play. It's exactly what's going to happen here. Can't allow this against LSU. You see the play bounce outside? That allows pursuit to get to the football. Now again, not nitpicking here. This is a 5-6 yard gain. Could have easily been a 15-20 yard gain if you just handle a few more guys close to the line of scrimmage. At the end of the day, can't allow LSU to penetrate against some of these plays when you have pulling guards. All right, Matt, again, LSU, Auburn, must run the football between the tackles. I cannot emphasize that enough. Here you're basically just going to get a 4-man front. It's a 4-2 look, creeping the linebacker down, almost gives you a 4-3 look, not really respecting this receiver, committing this guy more to the run game. But you're going to see Auburn and Gus Malzahn here just decide to get north and south. Love the pad level from the youngster Danzy, who has not a lot of experience. We've mentioned him a few times now. Watch him work with the center Dismukes. Get some nice push there. You get a nice kick-out block here from Slade, and that just opens it up for Cameron Artis-Payne again. When he hits the hole hard, he's allowed to just go north and south. You see what a difference maker he can be. Excellent job by Dismukes up on the linebacker. Like I said before, get me a hat on a hat second level. Auburn has the playmakers to turn those into big plays. That right there, normally a 5-6 yard run. Because Dismukes gets up to the second level, gets on a linebacker, engages, allows Cameron Artis-Payne to make one cut, and all of a sudden turn that into a 20-yard play.
All right, so late in the game here, Cole, we've got Jeremy Johnson in the game. Sometimes Auburn's offensive line obviously made a lot of things happen in this game. Sometimes you just lean on Cameron Artis-Payne to make something happen.
No, and he's a guy that can do that. We've seen him on a few plays now when he's able to put his head down and go north and south. He gets pretty positive yardage. He's a guy that you like to see able to do that. But one thing that you can't have is penetration. And penetration can disrupt a play. You'll see right here, linebacker run through really and truly is what's going to force Cameron Artis-Payne to bounce this ball outside, and then it's just him making a guy miss on his own. Danzy, again with Dismukes, not going to be able to come off on the linebacker, and that's going to allow linebacker run through. You'll see right here, not able to get off on the backer, forces Cameron Artis-Payne to bounce that ball outside, but just enough on the perimeter defender, allows Artis-Payne to get outside, and then he just makes a safety miss on his own. Here you see outside, just enough right there by the right tackle, and then he makes a safety miss on his own. Any running back coach, any offensive line coach will tell you, if we can get you to the third level, you got to make that guy miss, turn it into a big play. Cameron Artis-Payne does it there.
All right, Cole, so we've talked a good bit about the Auburn run game today. Going to be crucial for Auburn against this LSU team. What are some keys for Auburn to look for early on in this game against LSU?
Well, I think front recognition is what has to happen first and foremost. Nick Marshall has to understand, is that extra defender on the perimeter coming down to play the zone read? How are the safeties going to play this defense? And I think you'll see different personnel groupings. I think maybe Gus Malzahn, Rhett Lashley, utilize some of those playmakers at wide receiver. Get more 3 and 4 wide receiver looks. Try to spread the LSU defense out and continue to try to run the football. If you can take Melvin Ray, Duke Williams, Sammy Coates, Ricardo Lewis, all of a sudden pull those linebackers and safety outside the tackle box and then let Cameron Artis-Payne get north and south like we saw him do that on that film, I think Auburn can have a lot of success in this game. Nick Marshall got better as the Louisiana Tech game went on. His reads on the zone read must be there, but it all starts with front recognition. What is LSU defensive coordinator John Chavis giving this team as far as the looks go? If they can figure that out early, I think Auburn can have success running the ball.
All right, we'll be back later this week to take a closer look at LSU as we continue to get you ready for the Auburn-LSU game here in the AL.com film room.